Welcome everyone to the final round of the GZR GT Challenge here at the Le Mans circuit in France. The famous 24-hour circuit. Qualifying is underway as we are blasting around the circuit. Slight change to the normal layout in the fact that we are currently running all the cars in one big 20-minute session. And my goodness me, is this going to be interesting indeed. GT3 cars contending with GT4 traffic. And we have a good showing on the grid today. So, we are currently watching Sophia Ridpath. Trading paints has failed me yet again, unfortunately. We are currently seeing the default livery as opposed to the fantastic VR esports livery. Once again in the GT3 version of the Mercedes AMG as opposed to the McLaren 570 GT4 racing previously in the season. Currently sitting on 47 points in the championship. Very respectable position at present time. We'll be starting to see some laps coming in at this point. Jordi Vermeulen should be one of the first people across the lines as we jump over to them right now. I believe they are actually side by side, something very interesting to see. And certainly an interesting livery there that we're seeing as now things are finally downloading. And there we go. The correct liveries have appeared. Jordi Vermeulen, I believe, is currently in front of Sophia Ridpath. You can see Sophie's getting purple sectors from the toe, provided by a teammate there. And these are going to be quite some long lap times here. I'm not sure whether things are going to go across the line. We'll see how things stack up. At the moment, though, it's showing the lap time as being 7 minutes and 20 seconds, which I don't believe is correct. So we'll see what we get as we come across the line to finish our flying laps. Like Sophia has sneaked ahead. Already slowing down, maybe to get a bit of air. Let's see what that time is. Sophia Ridpath takes provisional pole as 58.5. Behind you can see another car crossing the lines. Matthew Briggs, where are they going to be? Seeing the time popping through. Pits, Dennis Van Balen. Bedo Coleman is on a flyer as usual. Things are looking good. Make sure I have the link to the stream available. And we should also have some live timing available to us as well. Allow me to put that in a pinned comment on the track. Marshall. There we go. Live timing is currently pinned. Seeing a few more times coming through. Nils topping the GT4 times list at this time. Bowman with a 57.57. About a second ahead so far of Sophia. Rolf Müller comes home in third at this present time. About halfway through the session now. Going to make sure we give the link out to the stream. There we go. So, look at this. Thomas Burling's not too bad there. And with a 425. Niels Core with the magic number 420.19. In purple sectors for Matthew Briggs there. Has a yellow first sector though. Still with Fedo Coman here. We're going to check in with Daniel Sedgley. Just coming up to the end of their lap now. Has a 57.5 apparently in the bag. I'm not sure whether that is correct though. That is a 57.5.565 to beat. That of course is the time of Fedo Coman, our current pole sitter. Here we head on through now. What's that going to do? 22.8, so 2.6 behind Niels Core there. Georgie's on another lap, just about to come across the line. Go check in with David Rowley here. Currently, I think, with a Mercedes behind, that's the 33 car of Sophia Ridpath. Maybe helping out Rowley here. Look at this, a little bit of bump drafting coming down the Mulsanne straight. And we know that means lap time is going to count. Every single second you can earn on that straight is vital for lap time around here. Le Mans, more than any other track, you want that straight line speed. As I think, if I remember my stats correctly, about 80% of this lap, maybe even 90% of this lap, is flat out acceleration. And Sophia has kind of not helped David Rowley there, just by punting him in the back. Maybe some slipstreaming gone wrong there. I don't think he'd be too happy with that effort there. Let's check in with Jacob Money, as we can see there, coming up now to Indianapolis, one of the fastest corners on the track. Down that's it, straight through on the brakes. Heading down to Arnage corner now. The slowest corner on the track. We've got the fastest and slowest corners very, very close together. That is part of the challenge of this track, of course. Rob Noble puts through a time of 4:33.312 and fifth in class. Not seen any times so far from the other GT3 drivers. Coman, Ridpath and Vermeulen are all on outlaps. I don't think David Rowley is going to be able to set that time that he wanted to. Due to the contact with Sophia, that will have given a 2 or 4x, which unfortunately will have invalidated the lap. As soon as you get an X of any kind in this game, that is your lap gone in the bin. Ah, dearie me. Here's what it is though, as we now go ahead and join in voice chat, as we will be joined in due course by a certain James Bradley. Let's check in again with Niels Core. You can see the two chicane drivers are actually driving very close together here. Again, could be strategy. The bigger GT3 car helping with the slipstream. Or it could just be a coincidence. With this series, you never know what's going to happen. Let's have a look through. Having a look, I think Matthew Briggs is just coming to Arnage now. The exit team driver. Driving very well here. Let's go to an inside view, see what they see as we come to the Porsche curves now. This is the fastest corner on the track right here. Look at that, flat out through here as well. And this is the one, as we all know, that you have to hug the apex like your favourite granny. Maison Blanc. Oh, I've probably got that name wrong. That might have been a 1x there, so unfortunately that might be the lap in the bin again. And unlike any other racing games here, this does not let you finish the lap that you are on once time has elapsed. Once 20 minutes is reached, that is it. You are done. Let's see. Across the line, Matthew Briggs. Will that time show up on our boards? No, not quite. Van Balen's just heading down now to the Ford chicane. Currently has 2 green sectors. So must have a faster time, but may not be able to beat it at this juncture. It's very easy to just pick up a 1x. Let's see if that's come through. And it's a 59.014. My goodness me, only 4 thousandths of a second behind Rolf Mueller. That must be frustrating. But a very well earned 4th place in class right now. Let's check this out as well. Rob Noble's also coming through to finish his lap there. The McLaren GT4. Again, I have to praise this livery. It is fantastic, and you can see it just shining in the wonderful sunshine we have here today at Le Mans. Of course, teammate to Thomas Burling, the other purple-wheeled car. These ones are a bit more of a... I'm not sure. I think it's a teal? I'm not too sure of my colours when it comes to the shades in between. But hopefully I've got that right, eh? We'll see in due course, I imagine. Still hoping everyone's doing well this evening. We are hoping for a fantastic race this evening. I, for one, am certainly looking forward to it. Would be one heck of a night of racing. Well then, coming up to the end, there's no more time for any new laps to start. You have 1 minute left, drivers, to finish your laps. Fedor Koman on a charge. Look at those purple and green sectors. This is going to be a fantastic time. Coming through. I really want to call it Granny's Corner just because of the, you know, I get like your favourite granny. All I can think of going through that corner at that point. Go through karting. I've probably got Maison Blanc and karting mixed up there. As we go into the Ford chicane, as Raleigh puts in a 59.5, an improvement there. Where will Fedor Koman sit other than the... Oh wow, yes, that is an improvement. Look at that, a 56.542. Not a big improvement, but an improvement nonetheless, and something Sophia Ridpath will not be able to beat. The top 2 have all but been decided. We check in now with Rolf Mueller. Actually, no, look, we do have 22 minutes of qualifying. The standard qualifying length has still been reached, but there is no longer enough time to start a lap. Van Balen, 2 green sectors there. Rolf Mueller. Check in with them now. 4 green sectors, 2 yellows. So what time is this going to be? Let's find out as we head down now to the Ford chicane to finish the lap. Threading the needle. Got to get these corners spots on. Otherwise it's one-way trip to the gravel realm. That's a 58.3. Puts him second place. That's Ridpath down to third in our standings. As we see behind, going through is... Oh, I think that time was unfortunately deleted there. So we'll see now as Balin comes through the Ford chicane again. You can see Nils Core in the background as well. About getting to the Ford chicane soon. Karting right now. Will they be able to improve on their time from earlier? Still 2.4 seconds ahead of Jacob Money there. Sitting in second place on our grid. Daniel Sedgley, a 4:42. And Nils Core brings it into the pits. Not enough of an improvement on that lap time. Jacob Money seems to be on quite an improvement, but will not have time to set that lap as we come to the end of our qualifying session for the day. And with that, we have our order. Briggs and Chambers did not manage to set a lap, unfortunately, so they will be near the back of the grid or starting from the pit lane. It depends on how things go. We'll see what our grid is here today. So, you can see Fedo Coman sitting on pole position with a 56.542. Fantastic time there. Rolf Mueller close behind, 1.7 seconds. Just about pipped Sophia Ridpath to the post, as did Dennis Van Balen in third place. Sophie sits in fourth. These three drivers so close here. It's going to be very interesting to see the starts here. Behind, again, waiting in the wings, Jordi Vermeulen with a very respectable lap time that unfortunately I cannot reference. David Rowley sits in sixth place. And it's onto the GT4 cars there. So, in first place in GT4 class is Nils Core. As you can see, followed closely by Jacob Money, Daniel Sedgley, Thomas Burling, Rob Noble, Matthew Briggs, and even Chambers. Let's head over to Fedo Coman there and see how we are for our start then. And we're just about getting ready to go now. Waiting for the safety car to roll away and our race to begin. Like we have a fairly short safety car rollout today. So the GT4 cars, as normal, will have to sit still for a little bit to create a gap as we roll away. Season finale here. So much can be decided here at the end of this race. Remember, we have got live timing available. If you check the pinned comment there today, you should have a link in your chat. Rolling now through the Porsche chicanes. Next time we hear, we will most definitely be a heck of a lot faster. And what a sight it will be to behold. We are most certainly looking forward to that. Finally heading down now to our final new corners here, the Ford chicane. Safety car. Going to pull into the pits. And we will go racing once again. As Fedo Koman rounds the corner, floors it straight away there. And we are racing once again. A fantastic start from Fedo Koman right into the lead there. As we hound the corner up towards the Dunlop chicane. Everyone started fairly cleanly. I've not seen any issues so far. The GT4 cars are just about to take their start as well. Let's check in with them. Rounding the final corner, Nils floors it just like Fedo Koman, but hasn't quite managed to shake the cars behind. As you can see, Jacob Money really close. Got our timing systems working again. Look at this. A much closer start between our GT4 cars. Nils just about managing to from the following Aston. And then we have a McLaren triple threat behind as well. Daniel Sedgley, usually hot on the heels of the BMW driver, this time actually sitting a little bit further back than normal. All cleanly away though as we're going ahead and check in with Sophia Ridpath, currently on the tail of Rolf Müller here, very close to a podium position. We are on the first lap as we head down now towards the second chicane on the Mulsanne Straight here. I've news that Matthew Briggs has unfortunately found barrier, but has rejoined the track. Let's just check in what happened here. We're going to check on this crash, see what happened. So Matthew Briggs at the start, I think maybe just gets the braking slightly wrong. Yeah, a little bit of side-by-side contact and spins it onto the gravel. Not too much, so I did say that it got away clean at the start, so that must just be out of shot ever so slightly. Looks like Rob Noble being passed by Thomas Burling back in the GT4 class there. Everyone's showing fantastic racemanship here. Just a little bit eager at the start there, maybe from Matthew Briggs there, that's managed to get away yet again quite well. As we can see, I think Fedo Koman, maybe a little bit of gamesmanship here, dropping back to 5th place. I think wants a little bit more of a challenge from this race, wants to enjoy this final outing of Season 1 of the GZR GT Challenge. So this could be something to watch as we now head in to Indianapolis. Oh my goodness, Vermeulen and Ridpath. And Mueller as well, all right in a battle. Right in the trenches, I must say. Look at this. This is something to watch right now. You can barely separate these drivers off the track. On the track even. As you can see, opening up a gap now between them and Mueller. And could this be a move from Geordie coming into the Porsche chicane? Porsche curves? No, not quite. Very difficult to follow through those curves. You can see the gap opening up once again. This aero, of course, is rather useful in that corner, as one might imagine. Let's check the... Oh, we have a nice rear-facing camera shot there. You can see just behind Rolf Müller, I think has been let through there. Not entirely sure what happened.
I think Sophie may have had a penalty.
Quite possibly there. A slowdown penalty as we come through the Ford chicane. And also welcome in to the commentary booth. James Bradley, welcome in. How are you?
I made it back from the shop in time.
You made it back from the shop.
Then iRacing took a long time to load.
Yes, so. It does tend to do that with the Le Mans circuit. I did have trouble myself in getting things started. But we are now underway.
Sophie getting very sideways. Very sideways as you take a lot of the curve. The curves are relatively flat at Le Mans, but not entirely flat. And the GT cars can handle them quite well, but they can't handle everything that you throw at the curbs. think it will be interesting in this race if anybody is able to actually break that toe. I know from experience, albeit in an LMP2 car, that even sort of at 2 seconds back, you get a little bit of benefit from that toe. So, really is quite a challenge to try and break that gap.
Absolutely, you can see Jordi Vermeulen out in front has, I think, managed to just about break the toe. 1.5 seconds between second place for Rolf Mueller. Beto Koeman was in the lead there, may well have had a slowdown penalty at Mulsanne corner, which may well be why he slowed down to let a few cars through. I was under the impression it may well have been a bit of gamesmanship to enjoy the final round and make his way through some traffic. We see Rob Noble's entered the pits. Very short stop, 19.15, so maybe a little bit of damage, or maybe still had qualifying fuel. That does happen to a few people every now and then. Right then. Let's check in now with Fedo. Currently behind his teammate Rolf Mueller as we head down towards Indianapolis. He's on the inside, so this could be quite a move. Yeah, it's done before the corner. Look at the speed they carry through there. What a fantastic camera angle there. Heading down to the slowest corner of the track, one I tend to get wrong all the time.
Very easy corner to just snatch a wheel. And
it is. Oh, what's behind?
A little bit deep.
Look at that. Ridpath so close to just catching the rear of the car on that barrier on exit. That could very well have been a disaster for her there. Managed to keep it together though, continues on. And the race thunders on as we get to the Porsche curves. Heading back now to the GT4 class. You can see currently in the lead is Jacob Money, the Aston Martin driver, managing to get the better of Nils Kor there. But Nils isn't too far behind. Look at this. Moving to the outside as we head now to Indianapolis. And yet again, move is done before the corner. Even over. Good drive there from Jacob Money though, so possibly a dive at the inside through Arnage. No, stays behind, thinks better of it. Keeps that toe though. The all-important toe. We head now towards the fastest part of the track. Porsche curves. Keep an eye on those times there. We're going to head back up to the front now. Rolf Mueller is still very much within touching distance of Fedo Koeman. Oh, sorry. My bad. The interval gap and interval on the overlay are slightly different. We can see now we actually have Sophia Ridpath in the midst of the hunt, chasing down Rolf Mueller. Mercedes versus Mercedes.
We've also got Fredo Koeman
yeah,
right on the back of Jordi. It'll be interesting to see just when he goes for this move.
Looks like it's getting to be done in the chicane. And yep, that is Koeman back into the lead.
This is the interesting thing. So now Jordi has that option to come back at him down into the second chicane.
Very much does. Let's see how this defense is going to go from Fedo.
Oh, very interesting. Bump drafting.
Well, yeah, that is a tactic down here. It does actually help both of them to bump draft like this. It increases the speed of both cars. And the gap behind, look at that, 2.3 seconds. That toe is well and truly broken as a poor cone is sent to the Shadow Realm. That's a wide corner exit there from Koeman. Potentially an off-track, potentially a slowdown. We don't want to incur any more of those. We did see him slow down before, just as we came
Look at the
through.
speed he has on exit, though.
Exactly. There must be something in that line.
Looks like Jordi's stuck in gear or something like that in comparison.
It does. That gap has flown open. Look at that, 1.6 seconds in just one corner.
Looking back at Geordie, though, he does take a lot. He's actually over the white line. He's on the curb, going through the right-hander of that chicane. And from experience, I know that chicane is very aggressive on the inside and track limits. So I think it may have been that Fredo got the perfect line and Geordie's picked up a slowdown, unfortunately.
May well be.
And we've now got Sophia right in that draft of Geordie. Oh, Sophia right up against the barrier again on the exit of Arnage.
Yes. Really on the ragged edge there. Reminder everyone, we do have live chiming available if you do want to check the pinned comment in the chat. Follow along with the race yourself and see where everyone is on track as well. Over halfway through this race now, with Nils Kor leading from Jordi Vermeulen, Sophia Ridpath within a second behind as well, and slowly catching Rolf Mueller behind in fourth, followed by Dennis van Balen. And that is an all Mercedes top 5. David Rowley breaks up the Mercedes train in the BMW, sitting 6th place. Ivan James and Matthew Briggs make up almost the back of the field. I believe we may have one more. No, I am mistaken. As Jacob Money retakes the lead of the GT4 class from Nils Kor. Let's see what happened there. We head through, I think it's down to Indianapolis yet again. Let's see, yeah, Nils gets the outside sweep through, back into the lead. I think Jacob Money does get him back later on. As you can see, same corner yet again. On the inside though, the outside sweep not working for Nils this time. Side by side. And the pass is complete before the corner finishes yet again. But now we're back with Sophia Ridpath, sitting in 3rd place. The RE Sports driver with a DOS EXC Mercedes right near back bumper. A little bit of a slide on the exit there. That's one thing to watch out for.
To say, Rolf does look a lot quicker on, a lot stronger on the brakes into that chicane than Sophia did. He certainly seemed to close up the gap quite a bit.
I must also say, it looks a little bit more planted on exit as well. So one thing to make note of, the speed, I think, Sophia Ridpath's top speed is 284, Rolf's is 283. So they're fairly similar top speed for all of them. Down
it's these next 2 straights where it's going to be critical to make the move.
Well,
the thing around Le Mans is that with all the straights back to back, it's so easy to lose place and then retake it on the next one. But if you can make the move into Indianapolis and hold it through Arnage, then you've got the entirety of the Porsche curve to try and make a statement and pull ahead. So let's see if Rolf is able to get ahead up here, and if so, what can he do to get ahead and pull a bit of a gap before Tetra Rouge?
You can see now as behind, Mueller pulls out as the inside line as we come up to Indianapolis. Oh, cuts right across the front. Oh, and he's managed to keep it together. But look at this, Sophia Ridpath trying to come back as we go towards Arnage now. Drops back a little bit. Let's see what happens through this corner.
Well, I've got to say, that was very scary there. That's about as close to an incident as you want to be without actually touching
I agree with you there. That was some very, very close net driving. And look, she's right back at it now, coming up to Porsche curves. Bump drafting once again.
I think within the entry to Porsche is quick enough you can just about hold the car behind. But now this is where you've got to do your best to pull that gap, because if you don't do it, then all the hard work's just going to be lost and you're going to get overtaken again down those straights.
Exactly. The gap's not opening too much as we go through karting now. Out through Corvette. Be careful not to run too wide there. That is a slowdown if you do get the off track there. It's the final chicane now. Look at that gap, less than a sec. Well, it's almost 0.1 of a second here. But it's going to be all down to who gets the better drive out of this final corner. I think it's actually Müller. Look at that, the gap.
Sophia very aggressive over the curve.
Yeah.
Quick through the corner, just can't get the traction down on exit.
I think Sophia known for a little bit of an aggressive driving style when it does come to these sort of things.
Is this the final lap? Have we got one more?
I believe
lap. Well, what's the time?
We are
on the clock.
Coming up to 20 minutes. Fedor Koeman, again, a very commanding lead, 4 seconds ahead of Jordi Vermeulen. I'm going to check back in now. Jacob Money, as you can see, is again right up behind Niels Kor. Normally, I'd say we usually see Sedgley and Kor fighting it out, but I don't think Sedgley's quite managed to get a handle on this Le Mans circuit in that McLaren. He was very much geared towards the BMW and Aston Martin cars.
We've got Sophia going for the bump draft tactic that she's obviously learned from Jordi earlier on in this race. I
think you can tell when she's bump drafting because it holds very steady the interval. There's a very steady 0.053 there for about 10 seconds. Come through Porsche curves.
So with this likely being the last lap of the race,
imagine so.
The critical thing for Rolf Müller is he needs to keep Sophia behind him. But Sophia's not going to want to overtake, and we're seeing that pretty clearly that she has no interest in being ahead.
Not at this point.
Until Indianapolis corner.
I think that's where we're going to see the move here. Indianapolis is most likely the big opportunity for a pass when it comes to this circuit, because if you're passing into Mulsanne, whilst you do have a good chance of overtaking going through there, it's rather difficult to keep anyone behind heading towards Indianapolis.
I do think, though, that there's a possibility that the bump drafting tactics may not have worked if Rolf Müller can get a good exit here, which he doesn't seem to have had a bad one. And if he can just hold it close enough to Jordi, I think it's going to be difficult with Sophia that close behind.
Yeah.
It's certainly going to help him out a little bit. It doesn't look quite as easy as we've seen with some of these moves.
It's not helping.
Sophia's not going for this overtake, is she? She's still waiting. She's still waiting.
I was going to say, it's not helping Sophia's case here that Müller himself actually has the draft from Jordi Vermeulen up ahead. So
He's gone late from the brakes. Jordi's gone a little bit wide there.
Yes, Jordi has actually gone wide. Let's see through Mulsanne. We are going to have one more lap here at Le Mans, I think.
How long's left on the clock?
About a minute, but that's enough.
I don't trust race laps.
That's enough for Fedor Koeman to get across the line here. So I think we should be seeing one more lap, 6 laps at Le Mans.
Well, that perfectly explains why Sophia didn't have any interest in overtaking there for Indianapolis, doesn't it? That?
Quite possibly. Let's see here. We'll go with Fedor Koeman. Just come through.
Got to say, Rolf Müller's struggling quite a bit through Porsche curves.
This is going to be close, actually. We've just gone through Maison Blanc now.
Ooh. Sophia's got it all wrong through karting, and she's almost certainly got a slowdown. Yep, she is backing off.
There we go.
But Rolf Müller seems to be backing off as well.
Yeah, maybe also
Dennis Van Baten's through, but he's off the track as well. This is chaos up front.
But yeah, the white flag is now out. If you look at this, it'll be quite the interesting fight.
This is not how I expected this final lap to go.
Well, it's probably not how you expected this final lap to start, but it's going to make for one heck of a last lap. I'll tell you that. So we're seeing now, heading
we've
down.
Got Dennis Van Balen.
So Dennis Van Balen currently sitting 5th place, 0.6 of a second behind Sophia Ridpath, who herself is only 0.8 of a second behind Rolf Müller.
Oh, and Sophia very wide there through Tetra Rouge. That is right on the cusp of a slowdown from what I've seen in the past. So not slowing down so far, so...
Not quite.
Look at that, the gaps are coming down. Sophia's closing on Rolf, but Dennis Van Balen is closing down on both of them. We've still got 2 more straights before we get to the interesting one where these moves are going to start happening.
That we do, but look at this. We actually do now have some traffic in the mix. That's going to be a little bit of additional slipstream these cars can get. And look at Ridpath now right up behind Rolf Müller once again. But this time she cannot afford to stay behind. She will have to go for that move. If not into Mulsanne, then into Indianapolis or Arnage. So it could well be we may see her hold back. She may think she's stronger through that corner, then take the inside line through Arnage. A very tricky pass. But we'll then have a disadvantage on exit heading towards the Porsche curves. Oh, when's this move? The anticipation is absolutely killing me.
Another cone sent to oblivion.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the cones. Fair moments of thought for the cones here at Le Mans. They do take a beating sometimes. Nils Kor, the 19.636, currently holds the fastest lap in the GT4 class by over a second.
This is it. Rolf Müller's gone for the inside, forcing Sophia to go around the out.
As we know from watching
And
Nils here, this
on
works
one
rather
side.
well.
She's certainly not pulling ahead. This could all be tears. Sophia Ridpath is through.
He is indeed. Manages to make the outside sweep stick. Looking behind though, you see Balen actually taking 2 wheels to the gravel there. Not the greatest exit as we have 3 cars, 4 cars even, nose to tail for the finish. What even is this? I imagine it's even more crazy when you see the 24 hours and you still see this on the final lap then. It's amazing just how close these longer races actually get these days. And look, right up now behind Jordi Vermeulen, Sophia Ridpath has got that podium position, but wants some more, I reckon. The question is whether she'll
make sure she doesn't get that off track again.
Exactly. The question is whether she'll make the move. And she goes quite wide through Corvette.
Right on the cusp.
Let's see. Isn't slowing down.
Oh, she had one wheel touching the curb.
Oh, and it's very much out of shape through the Ford chicane there. Is that going to compromise her exit there? Let's see. Across the line, Fedor Koman has crossed long ago. But the order stays the same. Koman, Vermeulen, Ridpath, Müller, and Raleigh just in the background there, just exiting the last corner. What a finish! My goodness me. What did you make of that, JBR?
It's certainly what you call keeping it close, isn't it? It's Fredo Koman comfortably out in front, but right behind, you just had everything all in one shot. It was fantastic.
Absolutely. Tell you what, let's pop back and have a look at our GT4 class as the rest of our GT3s cross the line. Briggs and Chambers up there. We'll check. Kane Online Racing, car number 15. So Nils pretty much has this in the bag, having gone through Mulsanne. Still cannot afford to make any mistakes at this point because Nils has an Aston Martin within pouncing distance behind. So Whilst the pressure isn't fully on, it definitely hasn't disappeared at this point. But still, it's been a fantastic battle. I've seen it through the timing tree. These two swapping places left and right. Only one big incident at the start of the race where we just had a little bit of an argy-bargy coming through the Dunlop chicane. A little bit out of shape there from Jacob Money. Just thinking, for this final round, what do you reckon, James? We should probably call this the GZR Mercedes Challenge, almost.
There is certainly an overabundance of a certain manufacturer in one of the classes, is there?
Well, at least we're not seeing too much lawn mowing going on. Not the Spa 24 after all. Let's say that BMW does have a rather nice note to it. I think am I right in remembering that is a 6-cylinder car?
Ooh, off the top of my head, I'm not entirely sure.
I thought he was going to dive into the pits then for a second. Just how he was.
I always find it a very interesting line on the entry to the Ford chicane. It's just how much of the pit entry they use.
It is. And some racing games will penalise you for that. There we go, our top two crossing the line. Daniel Sedgley, not sure what has quite happened with his race there, but it's not gone quite the way you would have thought it would have gone. After we watched the last few races, what do you reckon? Usually we see Niels Kor and Daniel Sedgley going blow for blow. This time it's just not quite occurred.
Yeah, I mean, the last race that when I watched Lunget, the one in Belgium that I've forgotten, that Zolder. Yeah, they were very, very close the entire race. Maybe the McLaren's just not suited to such long straights, or.
There we go. Well, we can see the results now. Fedor Koman taking a very commanding lead. Jordi Vermeulen through in second. Ridpath in third. Mola in fourth and Balin in fifth. Look at the gap there. You can tell just how close these cars were. Basically within a second or 2 seconds of each other. 4 cars. That is incredible. Imagine what they're going to be able to do with twice the racing time coming up in the feature race. 40 minutes of racing. Be sure not to miss it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5 minutes' time with the big one. What do you reckon you're going to be doing in the break, JBR? Cup of tea? Coffee?
I've got a milkshake that I got from the supermarket.
Well, you better be careful. It might bring all the boys to your yard. The secret recipe, I assume.
Vanilla.
I get you.
Vanilla milkshake.
Well, then we shall.
5-minute walk break. Oh.
We have on. Oh yeah. Okay. Go.
I don't think I've driven anything in iRacing for a couple of weeks for this one.
It's pretty tricky. I will just be right back. We have got just under 3 minutes remaining of our warm-up gap. We'll be gridding up, of course, with reverse 6. I'll be right back. We are back. So, rolling out now for the feature race. Looks like Fedo Coman has jumped to the pits. Maybe I'll be trying a last to first. And we are back again. Fantastic. Still going strong as we are.
Where's Fredo Coman?
He is, Fedo has jumped to the pits, it looks like. Maybe trying what they did before in the... I remember the last season finale. Him and Marius Breuer. actually. I think it was... I can't remember the other name, unfortunately. My brain has just melted. But they started from the pit lane, if you remember, to do last to first. I have a feeling the same thing is happening again.
In last season, but it'll be interesting to see.
Right, we're getting ready to go green once again here. Currently watching Geordie here. See how we go. I currently possess a brand new cup of tea. So we're all set. You go green.
So Harkuno, how many laps do you think that the BMW is going to survive in front of all of these Mercedes?
Oh, well, it'll be worth it to see, I reckon. But we are green, green, green. I think there's going to be an overtake before the first corner here, because David Rowley has just got an absolutely flying start. My goodness me, he's going to try sweeping around the outside of Rowley here. And it's all done by the Dunlop chicane. Look at this. Oh, and someone's gone a little bit deep into there. That could be a little bit of contact in the background. Looks like Chambers got a little bit of a bumping around there. In fact, I think that might have been Matthew Briggs being muscled out a little bit. As you see Jordi Vermeulen just sweeping around the outside there. Has got a red path to contend with once again. As Van Balen heads off into the distance. BMW is quite good when it comes to straight line speed, but these Mercedes, these shiny new Mercedes, only recently introduced, you see, at the last patch of iRacing, are absolute rocket ships, whilst also being really nice to drive at the same time.
Oh, when we've got contact.
Oh, a little bit of contact, but look at that. I think even Chambers,
it appeared, just went way too late on the brakes.
Let's have a look back at what's just happened here. So we can see coming into the first chicane here. Yes, just, oh, 2 cars back, and it's just the domino effect there. So I think that might have just been Matthew Briggs potentially there. As you can look, Fedo Coman is now on his way through the field, just making it through the GT4 cars. Not quite showing up on the timing screens as being on the lead lap at this point, but absolutely
he's long past the. I don't think he came out in front of. I think he came out in front of the GT4 cars.
Well, if we look at Nils Core is still heading towards the second chicane, whereas Fedo has gone through it. It's just a little bit of a glitch on our timing screens, it seems. I imagine that will disappear as soon as he
Hopefully, yes. Fedo's currently about to break into more sand, so
yeah. So I think Fedo will show up on our time screens as soon as we see him on the back or overtaking. It's looking like it's going to be Matthew Briggs in the sights.
Looking up front though,
Van Balen's past David Rowley there.
Pulling ahead in the BMW. They are nearly 3 abreast coming into Arnage.
But looks like
we've got a move up the inside from Van Balen. David Rowley has taken the outside and he's kept it together and he's got more speed.
Looks like it as we head into the Porsche curves. It might well be a dive at the inside. Look at Balen. He's got some good speed. He's side by side. It's a 4 square coming into the Porsche curves. 2 cars, 2 wide. And look at Rowley. Oh, right on the ragged edge there. This could be messy. Oh, and he's managed to keep it clean so far. But look at this. Now he's at risk from Ridpath. Oh, it's all over the place.
Oh, no. He's kept it on the track.
He has. Tracks there. Squeezing Ridpath for the apex there as we come through Maison Blanc. Into the Ford chicane. Ridpath darts in front. My goodness me. I think that was another thank you very much. I'll have that manoeuvre.
Got to say, Sophia has been very, very loose through the 4 chicane. She's not been too slow through there, but stable and pointing in generally the right direction is not quite how I would say her approach to the 4 chicanes has generally been.
Are you saying it's been the opposite, JVR?
It very much has.
Oh, goodness me. Anyway, Coman is being listed as 3 minutes and 43 seconds behind.
Is
Not
interesting,
sure
isn't
why
it?
that would be. Oh,
According
I heard
to my result,
I heard an instant there. Burling's gone backwards. Matthew Briggs has gone backwards. What is going on here? What is Matthew Briggs doing?
Briggs has gone backward. Oh yes, he has gone. He has gone very, very off through the Dunlop curves. Through the not the Dunlop curves, the S's.
Let's have a look here.
Oh, Ivan Chambers nearly completely destroying.
Oh. I can see that. Yes, with the Forest S's. Oh, and that is not the best way to get back on track again. Moving left and right, trying to get out of the way, and that's given Fedo Coman the position to Ivan Chambers. I think he is on a lap behind there. We head back to our live image. He's back in the pits, and that car is very much a picture. It's not very nice to look at right now, but hopefully the mechanics will fix that up, and we'll see him back on track in no time. So he's jumped to the pits, so he's got a little bit of
it'll
time.
tick off his mandatory pit stop.
At least it will, but it's so far updated Fedo Coman to 12th position on our list.
That was a very wide line there. Fedo Coman.
Oh!
Second chicane. I know it was wide earlier, but it was...
For some reason, it's putting his pit stop as having been 2 minutes and 24 seconds of being stationary. I guess that's the amount of time it took for the safety car to get around. Oh, you know what I've just thought? I think his pit box was after the start-finish line. So starting from the pits has put him a lap back. Timing-wise.
See, on race laps it shows him as being on the lead lap. And according to iRacing, it says he's 14 seconds back, which does tally up with race laps. So I think your timing, the timing thing may get a little bit screwed up.
I think so.
iRacing itself is showing he's on the lead lap.
Well, that is very interesting there. It seems to be a little bit of an issue. Let me just try and reload the overlay and see if that will fix it.
Curious how much fuel Fredo has in, whether he decided to use the pit start to add a little bit of fuel.
Possibly. It's listing him down as having had a pit stop, because he did jump to the pits at the start there.
Aware of some things that we discovered as a potential issue in previous seasons, where this race, which is supposed to force a mandatory pit stop, if you start from the pit lane, you can technically skip it, but very much an illegal manoeuvre to do so.
Indeed it is. Now we're just jumping up to near the front. Jordi Vermeulen being very much aggressive in pursuit of Sophie Ridpath, who is actually just... Oh no! It's been taken back by Vermeulen. Ridpath briefly there, the fastest lap, and then just snatched away, just like that, by Jordi, crossing the line saying...
Not even a tenth of a second in it.
Exactly. 0.85 versus 0.77. 3:57, very fast times here. Not quite seen the same from Fedo Coman just yet. It's still a 57.87, but we know they're capable of faster times still. Now, as you can see, it's fixed itself. Fedo Coman is now being listed in 6th position on my screen, and I couldn't be happier. Fantastic stuff. Now then, we can see it's going to be a bit of a slipstream terrain as we're heading down here. Matthew Briggs is still in the pits. That must be one heck of a tow. Either that, or he's not got a fast repair, and the damage is taking a lot longer to use. A lot of these drivers actually will have the fast repair unchecked, and all the other things in the pit stop unchecked as default, as from modifying the iRacing .ini, I think. You can do that to make sure that when you go into the pits, if you're just stopping for your fast repair in regular iRacing sessions, you won't accidentally get a full fuel load and new tyres and waste maybe upwards of a minute in a full service run. You could just stop for a second and go.
I had no idea you can do this.
But it's something I only found out about recently myself. So, luckily for me, I have a Stream Deck, being one streamy boy, and it lets me press buttons to turn off refueling and tyre changes. So I'm quite happy about that. Look at this now, though. Vermeulen right on the tail of Sophia Ridpath. I think utilising her tactics of staying behind until the opportune moment to overtake, where a retaliation cannot happen. You also see Daniel Sedgley is now actually back in the race a little bit. Let's check in on this. We haven't really seen too much GT4 action this time around. So it'll be good to watch them for a little bit. Looks like Daniel Sedgley's got the hang of the car and track combination a little bit better this time, as is now chasing down the Aston Martin of Jacob Money. Got a lawnmower incident for Jordi Vermeulen. Looks like David Rowley and Rolf Müller have taken advantage of that, as has Fedo. It looks like I think it's safe to say that Jordi has had an understeer moment. But Ivan Chambers, unfortunately, seems to have had a little bit of a worse moment, as the thing has listed him as having crashed. Yeah, has jumped to the pit, so let's just see what happened there. For that, though, coming into Mulsanne, these two are nose to tail. My goodness me. Now as we head down towards Indianapolis, we'll just quickly check in what happened here with Ivan Chambers. Looks like it's, yeah. Oh, big tank slapper coming into Indianapolis. Ouch, that is got to hurt. That is a gigantic impact. And that is going to be one heck of a repair. See, Matthew Briggs has left the pits, is back in the race after a 6-minute 19-second stoppage time. That is some repair work those mechanics have done. I reckon their wrenches must be on fire as Jordi heads into the pits. Still nose to tail now as we head into the Porsche curve. Fastest corner on the track, nose to tail. Less than 100th of a second between the two of them, but not quite enough to make the move. These cars, of course, move around a heck of a lot more than their larger cousins, the GT3 cars. Less downforce, relying more on mechanical grip. All about driving inputs and smooth driving. In fact, I reckon these cars, these drivers definitely need to channel a bit more of Carlos Sainz, the very smooth operators, as they're driving around. Nils Core with a 19.337, again fastest lap for the GT4. Just hearing now, Matthew Briggs, another incident for them. He just managed to make it onto the track again. My goodness me.
He's
the greatest race there.
By the looks of that.
I think he has. He is showing as out on my timing screen. Let's see what happened there. Looks like coming into one of the chicanes of the... yeah, has just pulled up to the side. I think maybe something went wrong with the car, forcing the retirement. That is unfortunate there. Let's head back to the front as Sophia Ridpath is now got Dennis Van Balen firmly in her line of sight and is probably thinking, I'm going to have your position, sunshine. I'm taking that. Let's just see how much of a defense Van Balen can provide. The chicane racing Mercedes versus the VR Motorsports driver. VR sim racing, I should say. A lot of moves coming into Indianapolis in this event so far today. Thinking we might have seen one there, but I think this could well be a fuel-saving tactic here from Ridpath, staying behind Dennis Van Balen, able to extend this stint, maybe even a lap extra. That's actually going to be a massive help, especially around a circuit like this. Having a light car and being able to drive at top speed on those straights is going to be a massive help, especially with the amount Slipstream really assists you around this circuit.
Oh, I've just jumped back to watch the GT4s. I'm just watching Daniel Sedgley and Jacob Money, unfortunately, getting bump drafting all wrong. With
oh goodness,
Sedgley giving a nice little tap in the braking zone and disturbing both of their braking. They both had to run through the tyre wall.
Looks like it's not affected too much between the two of them, but it has actually just, I think, affected their ability to catch up to the GT4 class leader, Nils Kaur. That's a slap from Ridpath. Look at this, a 56.795.
And Muller. Faster than Fredo Coleman as well. Fredo's not been able to...
Yeah, no. You say that, Fredo has done a 55.720. So, Sophia Ridpath, yet again, has a fastest lap taken right out of her hands. So Rolf Mueller getting that pit stop in. Let's see, in the pit box right now. Of course, we're just stopping for fuel. What is this pit stop time going to be? And it's a long one. It's 20.35. About 2 seconds slower than Vermeulen's up there. So look at this now. Nose to tail once again coming into the chicanes. Unlike the GT4s, no bump drafting is occurring yet. But knowing these two, I imagine it possibly will. Do you reckon, James, that the bump drafting before was coordinated within the VR e-racing Discord?
Potentially. They were across different teams, weren't they? So it's interesting. It's certainly the best tactic if you need to either keep someone behind you or catch up to somebody in front of you.
Absolutely, because I was seeing in the qualifying session there as well that Sophia and David Raleigh were bump drafting down the Mulsanne straight. I think that BMW was needing all the push it can get. It is unfortunately at a disadvantage here, being let's just say one of the older cars compared to the shiny new Mercedes, the current poster child of the GT3 class in iRacing, I would say. Until I think, I reckon that's going to be until they update the McLaren to the 570, so to the 720S. What do you reckon? When's that going to happen?
We'll see if they've got anything in the patch notes that get released hopefully this week. I expect at the end of the season.
Well, hopefully we'll see something
soon. In fact,
soon.
I believe there should be an update tomorrow, should there not?
There is a big update tomorrow as we head into week 13. There will be a shiny new shakedown. And I'm so happy. Week 13 is coming the week before I go on holiday, so I'm able to enjoy it to the fullest.
Believe it or not, it is coming the week before I go on holiday as well.
Whereabouts are you going?
I am going to the Netherlands.
Ah, very good.
Unfortunately, I'm going via Eurostar, and I am travelling on one of the strike days. So we'll see how well that plays out.
We will indeed. Look at these two battling it out. We're going to jump in with Jordi Vermeulen just quickly to see how they're doing on their own right now. Being a 4-minute 38 last lap time from their out lap. Very respectable time. Not quite the 4:04 that Rolf Müller had. A very respectable out lap from them. I'm actually just going to pop down now to Jacob Money, who has actually been passed by the McLaren. The VRE Sports driver out ahead at this point. Aha! So we see just why Fedo was behind at the start there. He missed the start, so I think a little bit late getting back from the break. They had to start from the pits, which is unfortunate, but it should give us fantastic laps the first challenge. Yes, exactly.
I mean, he's at this point he is only 8.7 seconds down. So,
oh, look at Daniel going defensive as we're heading down towards Indianapolis, trying to break that toe by being slightly erratic through these long sweeping corners. Oh my goodness me! Look how close the two of them are now. Jake down. Oh. Gaps open.
I think the danger in this stage of the race is that we're at that point where the pit stops allow people to just have that lap or two on their natural pace.
Mm.
And it means it's the perfect opportunity where if you're not using drafting and you're actually doing it in the corners, doing it in the hard parts,
yeah,
then it's certainly going to be the easiest point to pick it up, and it's certainly where we're probably going to see that gap from Fredo Coleman start to be hunted down. 8.1 seconds as we stand at the moment. It's 8.7 at the start of this lap. Just where is it going to be once we get to the end of this lap?
Oh wow, actually I can see now Coleman has actually passed David Rowley. Redpath's into the lead. I missed it because I think, yeah, Dennis Van Balen has taken pit stop. So Sophia Redpath leads the race. Go back in with David Rowley now in the BMW. Currently managing actually to stay on the tail of the Mercedes ahead. Got to see driver Fredo Coleman using the power of driving a Mercedes whilst sporting the number 44. Hoping his race is going to be hashtag blessed. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. But look at this. For all his speed, the BMW is actually managing to keep alongside. As you can see, the power of the BMW is pretty good when you have the slipstream to negate the aero it has. So it's good in the corners, I would say. Perhaps doesn't quite have as slippery an aero setup as the Mercedes. This will be good for Rowley as well, because not only will he be able to keep up and have faster lap times here, there'll be less fuel used as well. This will be, again, vital for pit stops, you see.
So quite interesting. As I've said, that it's going to be interesting to see how much the gap ends up coming down.
Yeah.
7.5 that gap. When we checked in half a lap ago,
yeah,
it was 8.0.
I know.
It's already down to 7.3. It's on down 0.2 in the case of saying that sentence. So, Sophia pits up ahead. Are we going to see Fredo in the pits as well? Yes, we are.
And David Rowley as well. The three of them are in.
So this is lap something of the race.
This is lap 7.
So this is lap 7. So obviously that is the limit of what can. I'm assuming that is in the limit of what these cars can do.
I can imagine that. So think about it. It is quite the lap distance here at Le Mans. Ivan Chambers' car is
a little bit
still
sideways, isn't it? That's very unusual.
Absolute mess. It's up on its jack sideways there, but still being repaired.
Oh, it's leveling off a bit. So we're seeing it leveling off.
Maybe they're going to work on the other side now. It's been stationary for 13 minutes.
Fredo Coleman is out of the pits before Sophia Ridpath.
You can see Sophia Ridpath is still stationary, has a 37-second pit stop so far, and is dropping right back. What's going on here? Don't tell me she's tapped tyres by accident, and is only now getting fuel.
I didn't see it. Didn't see her go up on the jack.
My goodness me, what has happened here? But look at this. Oh, the car's off.
Yeah, the car is stationary throughout. It doesn't move. It doesn't go up on the jack.
We'll see what's happening there. Currently into the 1 minute mark of that pit stop. So maybe maybe a Monaco has happened to that Mercedes. You know.
And they've shared a vault.
Yeah, they stripped the nut. You can't get that wheel off. Gonna have to start the Twitter hashtag. Is the wheel off yet, or the website? Do you remember when in Monaco they couldn't get the wheel off of Valtteri Bottas's car, and someone started a website. Has the wheel been removed yet? It took 3 days. That doesn't bode well for Sophia.
She's still stationary. She's still just...
Indeed. Looks like the GT4 cars have all yet to pit. I think they may have a slight bit more range though, as no. It looks like
that Nils core is coming in.
Yeah, Nils is in, Sedgley's in,
Sedgley's
Money is in.
Jacob.
Let's
I'm
see
going to see the Lachlan,
teammates Burling and Noble do. Having said that, I must say Burling and Noble sounds like a very up-class grocery shop, don't you think? Or a bookshop of some sort.
I think it very much does.
Yes. Almost like Fortnum and Mason, you know?
That gap, so we were talking about what that gap is before the pit stops. Obviously, Sophia well out of this race by now. But...
yeah, still stationary at 3 minutes. That's going to be an entire lap she's lost here.
Definitely is.
This is what we like to see. Having led the race, Sedgley is leaving the pits now. Now only 6 seconds behind Nils 4. So Nils had a 20.52 second pit stop. Look at Daniel Sedgley, a 14.8. So I reckon all that time spent behind Jacob Money, he's been easing off that throttle, lifting and coasting, saving that fuel up. And now no longer has to fill up quite as much. And that's where the draft comes in, ladies and gentlemen, with this track. All about fuel saving. Being as efficient as possible. It's like that on most tracks, as you know. Try not to be Will Buxton here and saying, if you're first you have 12 other cars behind you and all that. It's like, if you're first, that means you're in the lead. And other such gems.
As we watch Fredo go down, 4.5 seconds is the gap. Now, by my estimation, we've just closed out. Am I right in saying that we've just finished lap 8?
We have indeed just finished lap 8.
So we've got lap 9, 10, and 11 to complete.
Yeah. Thomas Burling just on his way out of the pits. I think Sophia may have had a disconnect. That might well have been the case there, because she is now stationary. The car is now very much not moving.
In fact, having a look through based on the lap times, we have just started lap 8. In fact, we've not finished lap 8, we've just started
That's
lap 8.
what I said, we have just started.
Okay, so we have lap 8, 9, 10 and 11. 4 laps, and Fredo has a 4-second gap to close down on Van Balen. So 1 second a lap is the marker. Based on their fastest laps, that shouldn't be too challenging to do. But let's see how this plays out. We know that the moment he gets into that 1 second gap, the rest of it should be relatively easy.
Exactly, it's a bold strategy from Cotton. Let's see if it works out.
And obviously once he's into that 1 second gap, we know that he'll be able to activate the DRS, which will allow him to open a slot in the rear wing. Although that may be the championship.
Might be the wrong class of cars there. Still keeping it together though. Let's check in with Rolf Mueller here. Just getting through some traffic. The other two teammates, Burling and Noble there, are actually fairly close together on track, so may well we get a nice finish from the two of them. They might decide to do what Ferrari did at... remember when they were at Indianapolis, they tried to do a side-by-side, but I think Schumacher decided to finish ever so slightly behind Barrichello to make up for team orders on a previous race, you know?
So we're not talking about the Ferrari thing where you do a pit stop that's 5 times longer than everyone of your competitors.
Oh no, that's Leclerc. That's the Leclerc stop right there.
Or the Ferrari thing where you decide to not pit your driver to the optimum tyre compound when everyone else pits for the optimum tyre compound.
I mean, cars only need 3 tyres, right?
Or the Ferrari thing where you decide to pit to the tyre that is objectively the worst tyre and has been shown to be the worst tyre by everyone else.
Exactly.
To cover off somebody that you, quote, are not scared of. All of the best strategies in Ferrari, of course.
Indeed. As we see with Jimmy Broadbent's F1 Managers streams, I think he's doing a little bit of a better job than maybe the actual team yet. And Rosberg, Nico Rosberg, ex-Formula 1 driver and one-time world champion, actually said that Formula 2 and Formula 3 teams have better pit strategies than Ferrari right now. Which is interesting considering they don't have to pit.
Formula 2 does, in fact. Formula 2 does pit in the feature races. They have a mandatory pit stop, which interestingly, over the Zandvoort weekend, was actually tested in an interesting way. It turns out that whereas in Formula 1 you only have to use 2 tyre compounds, and as such you can achieve it during a red flag period, Formula 2 explicitly states mandatory pit stop, where you switch your tyre compound.
Yeah. Well then, Fedo Koman has really dropped the gap now. Look at that, 2.6 seconds between the two of them. About a second and a half faster on that lap than Dennis Van Balen. A 57.49 for the leading driver, followed by the .exe Mercedes having put in a 56.05. So I think in the next 2 or 3 laps we are going to see overtakes occurring. We are in the final quarter of this race. Fedo Koman really at the top of this championship. Don't think there's any threat at this point from any other driver here. So we're not going to really be seeing too much go there right now.
Do we have a any risk of a safety car that could lead to a 1-lap shootout?
Seeing as we're not actually
at the end of the championship.
Yeah, seeing as we're not actually driving in AMS2 Indy cars, I don't think we should see much of a safety car today.
I must say it is an excellent feature having it. We don't quite know what triggers safety car full course caution.
I think with
but it is an excellent feature, and I can't wait for iRacing to do the same.
I think I can tell you what causes the safety car in your championship from AMS2. I think it's caused by maybe feathers on the track from overflying birds. Someone took a corner just a little bit too quickly. But it seemed to come out every other lap.
Yes, we did struggle to get it out initially on a road course. We found it a little bit easier to trigger on an oval.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We did do
so
a
easy
very
to trigger on an
amusing
oval.
race. We did do a very amusing test race on an oval where I had my default setup for our AMS2 lobbies loaded in, which means that I of course had refueling and pit stops banned, and we had the race set to a length where at flat out speed the IndyCar would not remotely be able to finish the race. So we were very much reliant on triggering full course cautions and driving as slowly as we dared to be able to actually make it to the end of the race.
My goodness me. That's an interesting way to do that.
Yes.
Anyway, see, look at the gap now. It's down to 1.3 seconds. This is getting very, very close right now. Let's have a look at the sectors here. Let me see. You can see Dennis van Balen is behind the most in sectors 3. The most in sector 5 and 6, the final two sectors. Quite interesting to see because the difference between lap times again is still over a second here as we come into the Ford chicanes. Look at the cloud cover now. The haze has descended. It seems like had iRacing implemented rain, we'd start to be worried about maybe having a wet finish. Look at that. Not only is that's almost a 2-second difference. My goodness me. That lap time, a 57.5 versus a 55.6. That is almost 2 seconds a lap faster.
It should be noted as well that Van Balen
is on an utter
slouching
charge.
here.
Indeed not.
If you exclude Sophia Ridgepath, who is not currently in this race, then only Geordie is quicker than Van Balen, excluding Coleman. But Coleman is just so rapid.
Exactly. He's using the full power of the Mercedes. And I think...
I mean, with that sort of pace, are we going to see Fredo Coleman wait behind? Or is he just going to say, you know what, I'm going for this move because I know that I can do it in the corners and make sure that I stay ahead?
Well, while it may well be he wants to get this move done sooner than later because there might not be enough time to start one more lap. This could well be the last lap of the race. However, we haven't had a white flag out, so it could well be keeping the pace up with only 2 minutes to go until the end of the race. And we're actually going to be only 11 laps this time around because we got 6 laps in the sprint. We're only going to get 11, not quite double this time around. So I think Fredo might have the pace advantage here to get ahead at Mulsanne and stay ahead. So I think, having seen his driving so far, we'll most likely see the strategic decision to stay behind, take the slipstream, and make the move into Indianapolis. About 0.3 of a second now, the gap is next to nothing between these two drivers. .exe versus chicane. Let's see how this goes down as we make our way. And look, out to the outside, Coleman taking a very middling line there, trying to keep Coman guessing as to where he will defend. Not quite worked though. They're going to go side by side almost, but no, Coman's made the move and has made it stick. There is less than a minute to go. They are not going to make it back in time. This is the final lap. That move was all important there. Balin has not quite managed to pick up the pace enough to come back here. Let's see where Vermeulen's sitting here. Just getting through some traffic. Currently our second fastest driver, having done their best lap of a 56.87. The only other driver who ducked under the 57-second barrier here. But is currently sitting down in 5th place, 13 seconds behind Rolf Mueller. So as we tick over the 40-minute mark, we head towards the start-finish line to finish off what has been an absolutely fantastic season of racing. Shadow Coman coming now through the Ford chicane for the final time to cross the line and take the win and the championship for the GZR GT Challenge. Shadow Coman wins. Dennis Van Balen is second, and looks like David Rowley is going to come home in 3rd place. What a race. David Rowley.
So I think Fredo's drive from the pit lane certainly gave us quite a lot of excitement towards the end of that race.
Indeed, indeed. Let's check in with Nils Core. Another dominant going from the GT4 driver. Daniel Sedgley not quite managed to get onto the lead lap. Will finish in 3rd place here. Takes a checkered flag. In fact, we can look back to where Jacob Money actually overtook Daniel Sedgley for 2nd. Oh, looks like Daniel Sedgley had and spin through the Porsche curves. And look at Nils, look at Jacob Money. They're coming down the start-finish straight here. Burling and Noble are coming up to the line now. Burling ahead by 13 seconds. Through the Ford chicane now, finishing off the race. My goodness, what a season this has been. What do you reckon? So what are some of your highlights, JBR? What would you say?
I've only seen 2 of the races, so it's difficult to say. But
there we go. You decided not to actually take part in this one. You were here for the GT3 challenge, I remember.
I was. I think season 2. I think was the one that I was racing in.
Was indeed. Like Nils Core and Jacob Money, the last 2 now to finish. Ivan Chambers is also still on the track, but is now just coming across the line. I still think there were some fantastic moves that were made. One of them being in the previous round at Brands Hatch. That move coming through the final corner by Sophia. Just getting around the outside of Richard Hauswald there. That was a heck of a manoeuvre there. And at Fuji as well, remember, that was, I think, coming through the first corner. Unfortunately, can't remember. The names slipped my mind this time. Coming through the first corner, darting out to the inside and slamming it on the brakes and taking that position. That was a heck of a move there. I imagine Daniel Sedgley, having stopped now and is now back in the pits, will be updating those points as quick as he can. But mind you, it does go
I think he's currently upside down.
Oh, is he? Well, I can't see him. It's kind of gone to scenic. He's jumped to the pits. I think friendship was occurring, am I right?
I think friendship definitely was occurring.
My goodness me. Well, anyway, what a race it has been. We're going to watch Jacob Money here get across the line as Nils Core finishes up the lap, takes the checkered flag, and think he's going to take the win in the GT4 league as well. Get those standings here. Nils Core is going to take the win and quite possibly the championship, currently behind on drop standings. And here we go through the final corner. Crosses the line. Daniel Sedgley, having finished in 3rd place, I think will drop to 2nd. And that makes Nils Core provisionally, until the results are finalised, of course, provisionally our champion in the GT4 class. That brings the racing of this evening to a close. We'll just wait a few moments till we have the points available to us. And then we'll have a look through them and see how things are. What did you think of that one then, hey?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I enjoyed that too. What a race. My word.
I really want to... I really want to... Sort of maybe I might do some of these races next season, but I'm really looking forward to driving the what's it, the Porsche Mission R.
The Mission R, yes.
Car.
I've got to say I'm looking forward to that as well. It will be nice.
Yeah, I'm wondering what it will drive like, because in theory it should be very, very, very torque heavy.
I imagine it will be quite electric to drive. Well, anyway, we can check out the results now of the feature race. Let's have a look, shall we? So, in the feature race, we have taking home the checkered and the championship, Bedo Coleman for .exe esports, winning by just over a second from Dennis Van Balen, having missed the start of the race, being forced to drive from the pits. It has been a fantastic showing from the Dutch driver, and we really hope we'll be seeing him in the next series, whatever that may be, whether it's season 2 or a different season entirely. We shall see. Wait for news. And don't forget to join the GZR Discord for iRacing. And also, if AMS2 is your thing, we are mentioning it. Looks like our AMS2 Discord is starting to ramp up again in activity. With potentially...
It has. We've got some things that will be planned on the horizon.
Maybe in the works, eh? Anyway, as we can see, Rolf Müller coming home in 3rd place. Jordi Mullen in 4th. Nils Core actually on track, coming home in 5th there. So actually came home in front of David Raleigh there. But I think that might just be down to who crossed the line where, maybe. Jacob Money in 6th place overall. David Raleigh listed as 7th, Sedgley 8th, Burling 9th, Rob Noble 10th, and of course Ivan, Sophia and Matthew finishing up the grid. Ah, what a race. What a race.
And a season.
Indeed, what a season 2. So, we're going to have a look at our points now. As they're being updated, I'm not sure they're quite finished just yet. But you can see in our GT3 standings, Bedo Coleman sits at the top. 319 points. And the drop round has not been sorted as of yet, I don't think. Of course, there is a drop round every... so for every... sorry. Sorry, I got stuck in a loop there. Where I try and say a different thing but keep saying the same thing over and over again. It happens to the best of us. Don't worry, I am okay. But yes, it is sorted. Just my eyes playing tricks on me. So Bedo Coleman, by quite some margin, taking the GT3 Championship. 319 points versus 190 for the nearest competitor. A very dominant showing. Having I think, not miss a single race, maybe. No, he did actually miss a race. That's why the drop round is the same as the points. There we go. Dennis Van Balen, 190 points drop round. Marco Erdmann, despite not turning up for the last couple of races, manages to take home third, sitting on 180 points. Again, missed an entire race season there. Thank you, Daniel, for letting us know points are done. Means these are indeed the official results of our championship. George Vermeulen sits in 4th place, 178 points there. David Raleigh in 5th, 163. 6th place by David Richrath, again not showing up for the final few races, but takes home 6th place from Rolf Mueller and Marius Breuer. Richard Hauswald, 9th place ahead of Loic Eggels and Sophia Ridpath. Fortunately, I think suffered a disconnect during the final race there. Running so very well. That could have been a heck of a lot more points there. Maybe even a top 10 position in the finishing standings. Ivan Bremer, Miles Owens, Daniel Sumer and Wojtek Koshi finish up the standings there. Ivan Chambers finishing off the listings there. Moving on to the GT4 standings then, we can see Nils Kaur takes home the win over Daniel Sedgley by 2 whole points. 2 points. I was about to say I don't think that could have been any closer, but thinking about it, it could have been no points and decided on countback. But my goodness me. That went down to the wire, I think. Thomas Sperling comes home in 3rd place there. From Robert Noble in 4th. Jacob Money, a very solid showing in this last round. And getting very vital points to take home 5th position. Ahead of Thomas Mochik, Christopher Stevenson and David Contas there. He got 2 fastest laps and a 0x award. My word. Is that how close it was, Dan? My goodness me, that is ridiculous stuff right there. And of course, finishing up, we have Andy Booth, René Lurk, Daniel Merchant, Stephen Cox, Luke Grundeman and Matthew Briggs rounding out our list there. Leaves me to say, what a season it has been yet again. I, for one, am very much looking forward to the next one. On comms, I have been Frederick Towler, otherwise known as Harkuno86 on both Twitch and Twitter. That is going to be changing soon, as I am looking to move to a name that isn't just one randomly selected in an old game back in the day, and one that's actually me. So look for the changes there. Until then, at Harkuno86 on Twitter, at FredT93 on Instagram, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Harkuno86. It has been my absolute pleasure to commentate on this league. Hopefully I will be back for the next one, and depending on how good I get at driving, may even be behind the wheel if possible. But as much as I like commentating, I think we probably will see me back in the booth. So until next time, myself and JBR, wish you all a wonderful evening. Hope to see you again next time. You have any words to say?
I don't know. I don't really plug myself because I'm not on Twitch or anything, so...
Oh, you do stream every now and then.
I don't even remember the last time I streamed.
I think it might have been a Master of Pottery stream. And that's saying so, that's a long time ago.
Can't beat the classic that is Master of Pottery.
Exactly. And whilst I am still on the comms, I will say, of course, don't forget, give GZR a follow. Check us out, discord.link/GZR for the links to our Discords. GZR Sim Racing on Twitter and on Twitch. And now, of course, you're watching us here on YouTube. So don't forget to give this stream a like if you've enjoyed this racing series and indeed this race. And if you liked it even more, you might even want to give us a subscription. It is, after all, free, and you can unsubscribe at any time if you choose to do so later on. So until next time, this has been Frederick Towler in the commentary booth, signing off. Have a wonderful evening. See you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.